Okay, I am doing the handle on Shaun'S basket here, and I got everything's done on the side here except for one little row here. I'm going to go back and I have to finish that. But what I wanted to do was get this piece of the handle on to see how tight I need to bring this rim in. So I am going to take this hopefully tonight. I am looking at coming down to the market tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday and I normally don't come down here, but fall is kicking in and I need to try to get back in the sink. So I'm trying to get this part. It's a little noisy today really, but I want to get this piece done. If I can get this handle back on, then my last phase is going to be working on the bottom of this basket. The top still will not be put on until I finish that bottom. But I'm getting everything. I would say I'm 90% done now. I got about 20% left, which is finishing this handle and working on the bottom. Or let's say 25%, 75%. Let's put it that way. But fall is kicking in and I need to start getting some of my chips in. I ordered some for my GoPro 2 days ago, so I should get it sometime. Maybe I might have it today, or maybe Monday I'll get it. But anyway, I'm gonna get this done, and then I got another piece on one of my mom's basket I got to work on, and I still have to work on. You remember that S basket that I worked on? I'm gonna start back on that one again. I gotta finish the second basket. I finished her basket, but I gotta finish mine. And I got a lot of basket up on the table. I gotta work on crosses tonight. I'm trying to get a lot of things ready for this fall. I got, what, 3 months? Christmas will be here and I don't have everything ready yet. Got a lot of people out there today, that's one thing. Everybody walking. Nice day, nice and cool, overcast, not too hot. Everybody loved that. That's another reason why I want to come in here on this Sunday. Okay, I got that piece in there. Now, what I got to do is I got to come down, come back in this area, then I'm going to come all the way around. And you see right here, I got to wrap this piece, and this piece is for the lid. One thing I did not do, which I know I should have, is I didn't mark the side that the hook for the lid has to go in. When I look at that handle, I believe the back part have to go here. Oh boy. I'm not sure yet. Well, I'll have to test that on the lid because I might have to do some adjustment. Well, I'm going to come around and I have to get this. Then I'm going to have to wrap all of this. So since this is so small right here, I believe this is where the lock for the lid goes in because this is very small. This is a little bigger, so the back parts have to go here. Okay, so I'm going to get this in and I'm going to go back and put this piece in right from here. Normally I don't do that. Uh-oh, no, I can't do that either. I need this to be tight. It's going to be a little green, but it'll dry on the customer. Back to the color. I try and use some of the same color if possible. That way you don't, some people don't like it, but after I explain that, it'll dry to that. It is going to be a little while though. But most of this basket, I try to use almost same colors, much as possible. I do this with all the old basket because you would never know I did a repair on this basket unless you see this green. So the customer is going to see this green on, at least right here on this piece. I just want to get this in here. Ah, man. Okay, I'm going to get this come out. There we go. I don't have any more of this material, so I am not going to wait any longer. While I have the chance, I want to finish Mr. Shaun'S basket, get him back to him, because I got about 3-4 other baskets coming, and I know once I release all these videos, I know I'm going to be very busy. Okay, I got this coming. All right, here is go where the cross comes in here to latch over. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna put another one here because I gotta come in here and tie this in. Hello, $4. I am gonna get this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
You too.
Okay. I sold a lot of large crosses today because I didn't have no small crosses, so everybody gotta have the large crosses. Maybe there's a thing to this. Maybe I need to just leave the small crosses, build up on that, and try to sell some of these large crosses, get them out of the way. Okay, there we go. Now, I am gonna come around on this piece, and I just have to, sometime the end of my palm will go through very easily when I'm threading it in, and sometimes it don't, and I gotta use a nail bone to kind of open it up. So if it's just right, I will get this in. I think I'm gonna have a problem right here now. Yep, just like I say, you know when you're gonna have a problem. All right, let's see if I can get this piece just to get in. Oh, sometimes I gotta play a little game on these things just to get it under, to see where I'm gonna make the hook in here. Yeah, it's almost that time to take this piece, balance it right here. All right, so I don't want to make this too tight. I hate that. When you're in these tight areas, that is where the palm tends to twist, and you want to make sure it's right because it's so difficult to get this in here. But anyway, so I got the piece coming across now, and as I come around, the last row is when I'm going to really do some tightening, but I got to make sure that the lid will be able to get back on. So I got to make sure I put this side row back on the right spot. I'm not gonna have the lid to do that, so I'm hoping I'm gonna be right. Must be tight. So I'm gonna flex it a little bit coming down so it can tighten that, and then the lid will sit back on. Now the only problem that I had on this basket now is the tops. Back in those days, they didn't take the rim up high enough, so when the top comes down, the top is sitting right up on this row here, making it look like it's pushing off. It don't give it a tight fit. But on my new baskets, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make a basket, same thing with rainbow handle. So I gotta look at that. Then, if I do that, then how do I make the hooks for the basket to lock itself without having this rim here? Oh, got it. See, sometimes it takes just a little split second. I can actually split on whatever line I want, do the same sequence without having to put a line coming all the way to the outside, so it'll be flat and this will stick out. So what can happen in the future, if the customer should lose this hook, then they can always break that off and just sit the lid on, and it doesn't take away from the function. It's just that we put the lid so that the customer don't lose the lid. So they're gonna have to take a chance if this breaks off. So now I know what to do on a rainbow handle. That is why I like working on old baskets, because it gives me idea. Okay guys, I am getting ready to cut this thing off, and it is almost 3 o'clock. I'm gonna work on it to get this coming around on one side, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this home. I'm gonna go ahead and get the lid, place it on here, make sure I got everything right on the lid so I can finish that one row, and then I will hook that later once I do the bottom. Remember, I still got to do that little piece right there in the middle, because all of this is done. You can see right now how that basket looks. I mean, it's like brand new. So we're gonna rub it. And then I'll go back on the bottom and make some little tight spots here, and this will be done on the bottom. So this bottom was not that bad, and I hooked everything back. And so I don't have much on the bottom to work on, maybe 1 or 2 rows from it. Tighten that up and that will be done, because the bottom wasn't that bad. It's just that the bottom was coming out. And remember, I started somewhere right here. I now am gonna go down to right here and come up. So it looks like I'm gonna do about 2, 4, 6 rows on this bottom and the inside, and I will be done. Yes. I'll see you once I finish this basket. I don't know if I'm gonna hold on to this until I finish the other basket. I guess I wanna just go ahead and return this to Shaun, and I'll get his email and I'll send him the basket that I made myself, my basket. Okay guys, I will see you later. Okay, I now got this bottom done, and it is nice and solid now compared to when I got it. It was coming out all apart, and I managed to get almost every row. I started, let's see, 1, 2, 3 rows, 4 rows from the beginning of the knot, and I hope they don't mess that knot up, because then I would have to put a whole new bottom in this basket. I mean, it's looking good inside, see? I mean, it is perfect. It is tight. I've sealed it. Not too much gaps in there. I've closed a lot of those from what you got. And actually, the entire basket is tighter now. I mean, it's almost like brand new. So I got one area left, which will be this line coming down the side to hook back on the lid. And I have the lid right here. You can see all this right now. I cannot put the lid back on until I finish this one handle. and then this basket will be completed. Then I am going to make another basket, and as you know, I'm going to make that basket with a rainbow handle. It's a little slow today. I went to pull some grass this morning, got a little handful, trying to get little things done. This basket was a little rusty, so I'm gonna have to add a little more material right here. They spliced the basket right there, which I don't like. I can't change that. So I am gonna have to go under and in to get that one line going, and then I'll come all the way back around and get this final line. So where they did the splice right here, I am gonna put a low grass because it looks a little weak. I didn't change anything in this basket. I did add 1 or 2 strands to kind of build up the area. So I took the edges of the palm and spliced it in, so in case if the grass ever were to break again, the entire handle wouldn't come off. So I don't know what the customer would do if this handle start coming off. So hopefully they will handle it a little, unique, because the basket is in good shape. Now it is. So you saw that basket when I got it, and now you can see what I have in my hand. I could not do this the first time I got that basket. Then the bottom, I could not push on it. I mean, oh, guy with the motorcycle coming through. I mean, this basket was, man, very weak. And I found the basket last night. I'm going to show everybody how that basket was, and then I am going to show you guys how it looks once I'm done. You're going to really be surprised with this basket when I do it. But Mr. Shane is going to be very happy when I finish this basket in the next couple of days. I give it by next week. I will turn this basket back into him. I have a starter, and I'm going to do all of my estimates, and I am going to make this basket, and then I'm going to change the sides. What I'm going to do is come up on the top with a rainbow handle, and then you can see where that line comes in to hold the handle. I'm not going to do that on my basket. All I'm going to do is do a splice in here where I can hook the handle in on the basket. If that should ever go, then that's okay. They still have the top. They're just gonna have to just sit it down on the top. And I'm gonna give it a little bit more lip. So it is gonna be pretty interesting how I do that basket compared to how they did it back in the old days. So I'm gonna show you how the basket look once it's done. Then I'm gonna show you my basket with the new design, how I does it. Okay, so let me get started on this, and hopefully tomorrow I will let you see me putting the lid back on. Okay, I am working on the top, reconnecting the top. Let me get this in here. And I am going to use a thicker piece of palm because I want to make sure this is tight enough. This top is going to be tight going back on. I didn't change anything. That's just the way it is. And once I get this all the way completed, then I will be able to test to see how that lid is going to sit right up on it. So I'm going to get a couple of rows stitches put on this thing. I got to get the whole thing put back in. Then I am going to see how this head fits on here. I just got to get this on. It's a little noisy in here today. They got a cruise ship. Okay. I'm making this a little thicker than normally called for. I'm not taking them pieces out. I'm going to add scripts to it until I get to the end here. I'm going to do my little test in just a minute here. I know it's going to be a little tight, but I didn't change anything on this basket except for putting on this palm in here. Okay, I got one more piece to put in here. I don't want to tear nothing out because I'm afraid the pieces that I put in for okay, here we go. Now this is where it's going to be very critical because I'm on the end, so I'm going to cover up the old stitch, and now I'm going to come in and where the piece that I hook on, that is the piece I got to put back in, and I think I got it. All right, here we go. 1, 2, I'm going to put 3, then I'm going to do my test before I finish because I got about maybe this much left. Okay. Before I finish everything. Here we go. So I got one more. All that's going to be in here now. Everybody's kind of walking today. It's raining. We all didn't know it's going to rain. All right, so I got that piece in there. Oh, nope, I better do one more because it's going to be a little thicker right here. I am going to cut off this excess so it's going to come a little more close to the other loop to the front where the latch is actually going to be. Now, if I can get this nut to bend and go right into that hole. There we go. Okay. Now that I have that, we're going to see how this is going to go on now. All right, here goes the test. They're going to have to squeeze that back in because I didn't make no change to this hat. I mean to this lid. I'm thinking about this hat I've got to make now too. All right, I got that in. Let me turn this because I want to see the latch is going to go in. They got to kind of bend it down. I hope they'll do all that, but this is a little tight. Eventually it'll loosen up. Once I get this piece off, then it'll be able to sit. I just want to make sure this piece, the wrapping on this, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do it again because that's going to be the critical spot right there when they open and close the basket itself. Okay. All right, I'm going to take this back off. All right, there we go. So, now, okay, I am going to go ahead and take this sign off because I don't need that too much now because I almost got this piece done. So let me get this off. All right, I'm going to tear this out. I want to save this just in case I got information on the customer on this. This is something I do now because what happens is I tend to go to other things and I don't want to give nobody the wrong baskets. And I don't want to. All right, take this off. Here we go. And I am going to set that. Tell you what, there's a lot of stuff down in this basket after all the cut. See all of that? Like snow. I got to clean all that out. That's all that dry stuff I took off that I had to break off because the basket was just too brittle. Okay. I'm going to go back. I'm going to check everything. And then I'm going to finish that last row right there. And it's going to come back, and that's where I'm going to end it here. Now, the sleeve on this cut, I think I'm going to leave it. It's moving around a whole lot. I'm going to find out once I done got everything together. Then I'm going to see if I like it. Let me cut all this off. There are going to be a lot of pieces that's going to tighten up. So they almost got a brand new basket here because I rewind and tighten everything. Even the lid had holes. You can see where the basket had a stitch and then a wrap, or a stitch and a wrap. Okay. And I don't like that. My mom, I never saw any of her baskets like that. I don't think I saw my grandmother's basket like that either, where they had a stitch and a wrap. And if that did happen, it had to have been accidental, or they had no choice, because sometimes when you are doing a stitch, something happens and that's spread out. But I'll alleviate that. I got a new idea to make sure that don't happen by going under the. Okay, so I'm going to tear all this out right here. Don't need that. This almost to the end. Then I'm going to thin that out. You can see how all that came. I'm going to almost merge this to the very end. I just got to get all them pieces out. This is, almost brittle, so now I can finish off end piece. All right. I think next week I'm going to call up Shaun and let him know his basket is going to be ready. Okay. You can hear that tour just going by here just now. Okay. I got that in there. Now I just got to get that piece. I'm going to end it here. Okay. I'm going to end it right here. I'm going to cut this off. Yeah, because later on I might go back and I might fix that. But I am going to cut this off right here. There we go. Now, and then I'm going to end it here. And I almost got it. Ooh, boy, I'm very lucky because I didn't have to thin this out. This came out just right on the very end. But I will go back. Some of the baskets, I got it where you almost don't even know where I ended the piece. So I'm going to get this in. Oh man, I got to get this piece in here. So I just want to be able to take this out and put it on the one side. I think that'll be the best thing to do. I don't know how I'm going to. I just got to get this in here. If I get it in, I'm good. There we go. Got it. I think I'm going to go back. I'm going to fix this piece, make it a little thinner in there, because I want that to be able to close. All right, let's get this piece up in here. Let's get this piece. I want this to lock in. So I'm going to loop this back through. let it tighten itself. That way I don't have to worry about it ever coming out. Customer have to worry about it coming out, because they're not going to know where I ended this thing anyway. Okay, done. All right, now if you look at this basket, you can see it is from when I started. Look at that basket. It's almost like brand new. I mean, it don't have all that brown in there anymore, the black in there. Here's a place I'm gonna have to look back on everything and cut all them pieces out. That's gonna be my best bet. And I'm gonna check everything, make sure everything on this thing is humped inside. So I just gotta put this back in. This way they're gonna have the problem. Can't get around that. I made it a little looser so that they can close it, and hopefully they'll just take their time and put that back on. I'm gonna do a little bending on this, but I'll let the customer know. They're gonna have to be careful for a while. Let everything dry like it's supposed to. It's a little flexible. You can hook it in. I mean, look at that now. I mean, man, that is beautiful. It's almost like I made this basket yesterday. This is the kind of work I do, and I want everybody to see this. And I got another basket that's very old. That thing is so brown. The material look as if it will come apart on that basket. I am gonna do a video on that basket because it has a unique color to it. It looks as if it's rotted, but it's not. Now look at this now, look at that top. You can see the contrast, the colors in the basket now. I mean, it's nice. It's just like I made this basket yesterday, nice and red with the pine. Then you got the bulrush. There's an old piece. Oh, I think I got it. I'm trying to find anything that I leave. So hopefully if the customer sees something like that, they'll just leave it alone and let it flake away itself. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna check for any kind of strands, because I don't want the customer to pull on any kind of strand that's left out of there, because they might pull a stitch out, not knowing it, you know, on purpose. That just leave it, it'll come off. And that's just a raffia here that I have, and now I'm gonna open that back once I'm done. But now look at that hook come in through the front right there. Then I got the loop come for the handle, so that'll hook that on, that'll hold everything like it's supposed to be. Well, Mr. Shaun, you are gonna love your basket. Your wife is gonna love this basket. And you're thinking that I made this basket. No, I actually went back, like I say, and I just renewed this basket. I don't know how old the basket is. You can see where I put the hook in. I mean, look at that top, the inside. Let me take this out. I mean, now you look in the inside of that basket. I mean, it looks as if I just made that basket yesterday. I mean, it looks brand new in there. Now, this is the kind of work I do, and this is why I love working on old baskets, so that the customer can save themselves a little money and keep something that was in the family where they can still pass it on down. And voila, I mean, that is looking good. But I am going to make a basket like this in the coming weeks, but I'm going to make it a rainbow handle. I will go back, trim up anything that looks or need to be trimmed, and then I'll call the customer up and let them know their basket is going to be ready. Okay, so it's like I got a double loop on these to reinforce this. If it comes loose later, they can always let me know and I can fix that piece for them, but I'm not gonna waste my time taking this off. I want this to stay. That way, if a piece comes off, the basket won't come apart. That's one thing that will not happen once I'm done something. So I don't know how old this basket is, but if they had this basket for 80 years or so, and they got it from a grandmother or aunt, and now I redo it and brought it back to life, it'll probably be another 80 years or more, depending on what they do with the basket. Okay, if they take care of the basket and handle it correctly, it'll probably go even longer. Hopefully I'll still be here and I can see the basket again, or hopefully I won't see it again, but who's to know? Because people do some of the most curious things with basket these days, so who is to know? Okay, so I will see you guys for right now. I will give you some final thoughts on this basket maybe tomorrow. Once I go through, I'm going to get all the dimensions of this basket. I'm going to write down all the ideas I want to do on this basket. But remember, I am going to make one like this, but I will not have these handle lines going around it. I'll have the stitches coming out, and you just plug that piece in, so that way if this comes up off, then the customer will not have to worry about the basket. She'll just use the top itself. Okay? So I will be seeing you guys later. For right now, let me put this back in and I am done. Okay.